Zap, 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 lightning, zap, zap, lightning, lightning, fade.
Hello everybody, it's me, the LEGO Dude, and in today's video I'll be talking about every LEGO Star Wars set which is going to be retiring at the end of 2023. Some of these sets are already basically retired, but the majority of them are still available at retail price or clearance price, so if you plan on buying any of them, you should do it as soon as possible. Kicking things off, we have the 40539 Ahsoka Tano Brickheads, which released in early 2022 for $10. LEGO probably released it too late after the hype of Clone Wars Season 7 for it to sell well, but it still was a really cool Brickheads. Next up we have the 40623 Battle of Endor Heroes Brickheads for $40, which at the time of retiring will have only had a shelf life of 7 months, which makes sense since it was released specifically for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, but is still disappointing. The last Brickheads, which is retiring at the end of 2023, is the 75317 Mandalorian and the Child Brickheads, which released in early 2020 for $20. With a nearly 4-year lifespan, it definitely overstayed its welcome. Next up we have a trio of Hoth sets with the 75288 AT for $170, the 75322 Hoth AT-ST for $50, and the 75320 Snowtrooper Battle Pack for $20. At first I was of the opinion that they were all retiring too early, but thinking about it more, they've all had a solid lifespan. Also retiring at the end of the year is the 66775 Hoth Combo Pack, which was available for $45, but unfortunately seems to have already become unavailable. Next up we have a duo of iconic ships with the 75300 TIE Fighter and the 75301 X-Wing, which are both available for around $37 right now. It's disappointing that these are retiring since they were more affordable than almost all other versions of the X-Wing and TIE Fighter without having to give up quality, and with the way LEGO prices are trending, I doubt we'll ever see an affordable X-Wing and TIE Fighter like these ones ever again. Next is arguably the most overpriced LEGO set ever with the 75332 4+ AT-ST, which I'm glad to see go. Next up we have two sets that at the time of retirement will have only had a shelf life of a few months, and those are the 40658 Millennium Falcon Holiday Diorama for $30 and the 75366 Advent Calendar for $45. The best way to categorize them is good but forgettable, and since they're seasonal holiday sets, retiring at the end of the year is normal for them. Next up we have the 75292 Razor Crest for $140, which has had a nearly 4-year lifespan, having been released in early 2020. It's probably overstayed its welcome a bit, but it's still an amazing set. Next up we have the 75312 Boba Fett Starship for $40. This is a really good set in the same vein as the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter, so I would advise getting it while you still can. Also retiring is the 75318 The Child Buildable Character for $80. It's had a good lifespan, so its retirement is well timed. Next up is the 75323 The Justifier for $170, which I think has had a well timed retirement. Next up we have the 75324 Dark Trooper Attack for $30, which I think is retiring way too soon. It's a really good set which only just released last year, so seeing it retire now is quite disappointing. Next up is the 75326 Boba Fett's Throne Room for $100, which was mediocre at best, so I have no problem with it retiring. Next is a duo of helmet sets with the 75327 Luke Skywalker Red 5 Pilot Helmet and the 75343 Dark Trooper Helmet, both for $70. The Dark Trooper helmet was kind of bad, so I have no problem with it retiring, but the Luke Skywalker helmet retiring is disappointing. Next is a trio of diorama sets with the 75329 Death Star Trench Run for $70, the 75330 Dagobah Jedi Training Diorama for $90, and the 75339 Death Star Trash Compactor Diorama for $90. All three of these sets have had a decent lifespan, and with the diorama line of sets continuing, retiring these now was the logical step to take from LEGO. Next up we have the 75309 UCS Gunship for $400, which has definitely overstayed its welcome. Next up is a duo of sets based off the Kenobi TV series with the 75334 Obi-Wan vs Darth Vader Duel, which is an amazing deal for $27 at the moment, and the 75336 Inquisitor Scythe Transport for $100. Seeing them retire so soon is quite disappointing, since the former is a quite decent set and the latter is an absolutely amazing set. Moving on to the antepenultimate set on the list, we have the 75335 Buildable BD-1 for $100. If you love Jedi Fallen Order and have enough money, then this is a must buy, but other than that, most people will probably be fine with it retiring. Moving on to the penultimate set on the list, we have the 75338 Ambush on Ferrix for $70, which is a good set, but also a bit overpriced. Finally, the last set we have on the list is the 75342 Republic Fighter Tank. The build is mediocre at best, but the minifigures are absolutely amazing, so it's disappointing to see it retire after only 18 months. Overall, there's a few sets I think shouldn't have retired yet, such as the Dark Trooper Attack, but most of the sets retiring definitely deserve to be on this list. Okay everybody, that is everything for today's video. Tell me your thoughts about these retiring LEGO Star Wars sets in the comment section down below. Which do you think deserve to retire? Which do you think deserve to stay on shelves longer? Is there any other sets you think deserve to be on this list? And one last thing before you leave, please remember to hit the subscribe button, ring the notifications bell, and leave a like on the video. Bye!